I've had
Yeah.
a lot of good guys work for me, and we've kind of used our business as our mission also. We've kind of used it as our ministry, if you'd say.
Yeah.
Several guys come in and out of the business, uh, and we still have strong relationships with them going out of it. I was actually able to send two guys, one to the Crucible and one to the Awakening, which is part of the Rise Up Kings events, and they come back changed men. And one of them now is doing his own construction thing, and the other one just moved on to making more money for somebody else. But just like this week, he had struggled with drugs in the past, and now he's driving the church van for VBS. So we've kind of used that to pour into people. That's made it hard to build a systemized business because, you know, we're losing some of our good employees, but at the same time, we're bringing new ones in and able to pour into them also.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm joined by a good buddy of mine, Josh Rhea, who's the owner of Gore Insulation. He's a friend of mine from Rise Up Kings. And Josh and I got connected recently just through the Rise Up Kings network. And you probably hear me talk about this on every show. It's a powerful network. It's an incredible place to be. But Josh does something slightly different in construction, which is insulation. So I'm excited to pick his brain today. But Josh, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Well, hey, man, before we hopped on, I made the mistake of saying that you were the founder of the company, and you said, actually, you bought it. And so I'm curious to hear the story of how you acquired Gore Insulation.
Yeah, so I'll back up a little bit. Originally, I was a mechanic by trade. My dad has owned a shop his whole life, and I always thought I'd be a mechanic. Well, he always tried to push me to do construction or something other than mechanic work. So that's really what had happened. I done some construction in high school and a little bit out of high school, and then I fell right back into the mechanic trades, and done that for about 15 years working under my dad. And when I started having kids, I was looking for insurance and trying to better my family. So what happened was I went to work at the lead mines uh, here close to home and was doing heavy equipment mechanic there. Well, this business come about, and he had told me he was going to sell it. Well, what had happened was several years before that, I told him I was interested in it, and he said, "Well, if I ever decide to sell, I'll let you know." He'd been in business for about 35 years. So as soon as I found out that he was going to sell, I reached out and was like, "Hey, I heard you were interested in selling." And he's like, "Well, I thought about it, but I think I'm going to wait it out." He said, "I'll probably die doing insulation." And I said, "Well, if you change your mind, like, let me know. Like, I hate for you to do that or anything." So about 4 months after that, he called me. He said, "Hey, you about ready to buy this place?" And I said, "Well, I guess so. What's changed?" And he said, "I'm having trouble keeping help." And he said, "I've got this skin cancer, and the doctor said I have to get rid of it, either shut it down or sell it, one of the two." And he said, "I'd like to keep it going." I said, "Yeah, I'd be interested." He said, "Well, any days that you have off at the mines, you come work for me and see if you're interested." So the month of April that year is in 21. I went and worked with him every day that I had off and that he was working, more or less. So, and about 2 weeks into it, I said, "Yeah, I'm interested. Like, let's get the ball rolling." So that was early April. Uh, by May, he'd give me a purchase price and everything, and we started the process of getting approved for the loan. And by the end of May, I had got an answer that I was approved. So I quit the mines by the end of May, went to work for him full time the month of June, and bought the business in July, the 1st of July. So then he worked for me for about a month after that, and I went on vacation the 1st of August. And when I come back, he said, "I'm going to take some time and do some farming." He said, if you need anything, let me know." And then he come back about a week later and asked how things are going. I said, "I think they're going pretty good." and I've been on my own ever since. He turned me loose, and
What
it's
kind
been
of loan
about
was it,
four and a
Josh,
half.
that you what kind of loan was it that you got out of curiosity?
Really, so I got the real estate loan, the business loan with it, uh, but it was the real estate and all the equipment and everything that I was purchasing, and then also some material, So we just used our local bank here is who we used.
Yeah.
It was easier to go that route, and I had to have some cash on hand. I had to use a personal investor for that, and then pay him back within 6 months. So,
Yeah.
but
I love that. It's a very approachable story too. So talk to us like the journey. So you're a mechanic by trade. Like talk to us about the journey of Gore Insulation. Like what the ups and downs and everything in between.
so when I first come to him and talk to him about buying the insulation company, he said, "Man," he said, "the reason I'm interested in selling it to you is because you kind of have to be a jack of all trades. You have to know some construction. There's so much equipment involved and like stuff that requires maintenance. You need to be a mechanic, and you have to know some electrical work." He said, "So I think you fit the bill, and I think it'd be a great opportunity for you." So really, that's kind of how it was. I was already doing a lot of the maintenance work on his equipment prior to that, so I kind of knew a lot of the ins and outs of the equipment, the trailers, the trucks, stuff like that. But
All right. Well, what are some of the challenges that you feel like you're facing today between project management, estimation, skilled labor, marketing, bookkeeping? Like what, not like what keeps you up at night, but like what challenges are you currently like facing and trying to solve?
all of it that you just mentioned, I wear about every hat
Okay,
that
go.
there is. That's kind of why me and you connected to start out with. I was looking for the virtual assistant, and I think that would benefit me a lot in my estimating and just follow ups with customers, the invoicing, uh, emails, finding material at a reasonable rate, just the stuff that it's hard for me to find time to do. Um, I actually went this morning. I drove an hour one way and looked at two different houses, and then drove back so I can make this podcast. So I'm on the go a lot like that, and then still on the job just about every day. So it's
So it
just a
sounds like
lot.
one of your challenges is, sorry, it sounds like one of your challenges is trying to work more on your business than in your business. So you're both an owner and an operator, and you want to be more of the owner, like high level. So like, how do you feel like you get to that point? Like what are the next steps you need to take? Obviously hiring a virtual assistant is a good one. What are some other things that you think need to happen in order for you to get that scalability?
Putting a good team together to be able to capitalize on the jobs. Uh, I've had
Yeah.
a lot of good guys work for me, and we've kind of used our business as our mission. Also, we've kind of used it as our ministry, if you'd say.
Yeah.
Several guys come in and out of the business. Uh, and we still have strong relationships with them going out of it. I was actually able to send two guys, one to the Crucible and one to the Awakening, which is part of the Rise Up Kings events, and they come back changed men. And one of them now is doing his own construction thing, and the other one just moved on to making more money for somebody else. But just like this week, he had struggled with drugs in the past, and now he's driving the church van for VBS. So we've kind of used that to pour into people. That's made it hard to build a systemized business because, you know, we're losing some of our good employees, but at the same time, we're bringing new ones in and able to pour into them also. Uh,
Yeah.
Really, I've got a good team together right now that's young, and they're motivated, and they're wanting to do good work. Actually, earlier today, through my system that I do my invoicing, uh, I actually got an invoice from a guy, and he gave us a 10% tip on our job that we done yesterday, just because we took care of. We got there was some stuff that wasn't done, and we said, "Hey, I can run to Rolla. I can get material that I need to do this, and we'll go ahead and get you knocked out today if that's all right. And he said, yeah, do whatever you need to do. So I think just taking initiative and taking care of people, having integrity, that's benefited us a lot. But at the same time, uh, sometimes that's a stumbling block for other people if they're not adaptive. But you just have to learn to be adaptive in those situations. So.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk broadly about insulation in general. I'm clueless when it comes to insulation. So, like, when you say insulation, are you going into a new build, an existing build? What are you doing? Are you spraying things in there? Are you putting things in there? Like, what is the actual work that you do?
So really, anything insulation we take care of. Uh, we can go into an existing house and touch up the attic. Add some insulation to your attic. That way, your electric bill's not so expensive. We can. We do a lot of new construction. Is probably our forte. Um, we do both open cell and closed cell spray foam. That's probably the uh, biggest ticket item nowadays is the spray foam. We still do like the wet spray wall cellulose and still do some fiberglass, but spray foam is really what we focus on and what most people use nowadays. Uh, that can range in a variety of things. What's happened nowadays is a lot of times the spray foam ends up being the finished product. So we really take pride in making sure that our foam looks as good as it possibly can because it's going to be exposed for everybody to see it. So we try to make
Hmm.
it as smooth as possible, and then we also offer painting over the spray foam. So you had to paint it with an ignition barrier so it wouldn't catch fire. So we
Hmm.
we try to cover every base that we can as far as that goes. That way we don't leave anything out of the system for anybody. Uh, all of our
Hmm.
equipment, we try to keep top notch equipment. Uh, one of our trailers is only a year old, and if you're messing with junk equipment, it takes you twice as long to do things. So that's one thing that I've learned in this trade is like make sure that you regular maintenance and make sure that you have good equipment from the start, stuff that you're not going to have to work on.
Amen, dude. I love that. Okay, so we talked about some of the pain points, project management, estimation, skilled labor. It sounds like skilled labor is a pain point. Talk to us about like what tools are you using, Josh, like for what you do, like what CRM, what project management tools, like what are you using to like make it all work together?
So as of right now, what we're using is House Call Pro, and it's kind of all in one. It connects to our QuickBooks. Uh, I do all my invoicing on there, all my quotes. It has some follow-up emails that it will send three follow-ups if I haven't heard from anybody on an estimate. Uh, if I send an invoice out, it'll usually it's all automated, so it will reach out,
Yeah.
within a week, hadn't paid, and ask if there's a way we can help. Uh, they can actually even go on the app when I send them the invoice. They can go on the app, and it will actually give them an option to pay ACH, credit card, and I think there's one other option on there. So we try to make that as painless for the customers as it possibly can. Uh, we can send them a text message. A lot of people like it in a text message rather than an email, just because it's at their fingertips nowadays. Uh, we've looked at moving to other software. There's some more spray foam oriented software out there now, so that's something that we'll probably look at in the future. Uh, some of them will actually track inventory and help you with your cost and everything also. So I think having a good software and that's where I'm really trying to get to the point where I can focus on that stuff. That way I can uh, more or less do I don't know what you would call it, more of the logistics, sending my guys the job sites and everything like that, and having all the details worked out to where when they get there, like we did yesterday, we didn't have a clue what we was walking into. The guy just texted and said, "Hey, we're ready for insulation. And then when I got there, you know, I seen that they were still missing some stuff. So I had to take initiative and fix that. But I don't want my guys to have to walk into that and make those decisions on their own, you know. So
Yeah.
I need to be able to go and look at every job and be able to say, hey, yes, this one is ready to spray. Like, no
Yeah.
questions about it. But
What was okay? Let's talk high level. What was total sales last year? What's your goal, and what's between that? You know, between where you are now and where you want to be.
so last year we was really pushing hard to get our gross revenue up there. When I first took over, the very first year, we done about 850 gross, uh, and I wanted to, you know, surpass $1 million. So last year we done 1.2 in total gross, and this year I've kind of backed off on that number, and I've been working on the net profit more than the total gross. So I mean, you can sell as much as you want, but if you're not making as good a net profit, it's not really doing you no good. So I've backed off on that, and I've been trying to find out ways that we can raise that net profit is the goal right now. So
Um, all right. What's something we haven't talked about that you're passionate about that you want to share with the audience? Could be a business principle, could be something you've learned from Rise Up Kings, could be, you know, what's something you get amped up about?
so what I'm really passionate about is so recently I went and volunteered at Rise Up Kings for Ruck 58, and I just love the community. I just love the just the feeling that you get being there volunteering and being around the coaches and everything, and just seeing the guys that they really are, you know. So since then, we've decided to put a men's event on at our church, and Rise Up Kings will actually be coming there, and it's called Ignite. And your church basically has to set it up, but I've done most of the legwork on it. I'm a deacon at our church now, and me and my pastor, we've been working together on setting this event up for not just the guys in our congregation, but we're inviting some other guys that, you know, from our town that we would like to see, even in their churches, be able to rise up and, you know, become the men, the leaders that they're supposed to be. Uh, and really, that's my passion, is being able to help them guys unlock their potential. Like happened to me when I went to Ruck 36. You know, a little over 2 years ago, we were on vacation, and I just happened to see the one of the videos play, and my wife said, "You should go to that." And it was in like 2 weeks, and I said, "There's no way I can make that work." You know, like I've got 2 weeks to get everything in order. My business wasn't nothing like it was now. Like I can't do it. And needless to say, by the time we made it home from vacation, like she had me signed up, we were going, like, or I was going, and it was just a leap of faith, you know. And I had no idea what I was getting into. Actually, until the coaches finally rolled in, I still thought when I was sitting in the hotel lobby that morning that I had been scammed. Somebody took my money, and but when the coaches
That's great.
rolled in, I realized really quick, like this was serious, and they were on a mission. And I just want other people to experience the same thing that I did. Like anytime that somebody talks to me about having problems, I'm like, here, I got something for you. Like sign up for this, right? But everybody gets cold feet, you know, when they first see it, and they just have to think about it. And really, for me, I'm kind of an all-in guy. I see something like that, I just dive in head first and hope for the best, I guess, really, or just have the
Yeah.
faith it's going to work out. So, but yeah, that's probably my biggest mission. And as far as the age group goes, for that, I'm probably more of a crucible man than I am a just a refinery guys. You know, like I've got a lot of kids in this area that have just grown up. I've actually got a high school boy working for me right now, and kind of the same situation. You know, he went through a lot of the same stuff that I did when I was growing up, and really, I just see myself in him a lot, and I'm trying to keep him from making some of the same dumb decisions I made at that age and getting into trouble.
Yeah.
Which, you can only hope for the best. they don't want to hear that coming from an elder very often. And I try to think that I'm not that much older than him, but, I've been out of high school longer than he's been alive. So at the same time, he doesn't like to always hear it from me, but he's starting to see the fruits of it now, I think. So,
Yeah.
but
That's awesome, man. Well, Josh, if people want to learn more about who you are and what you do, where can they go?
yeah, so we got a Facebook page, Gore Insulation. And then we also have a website, GoreInsulationServices.com, and you can see some of our work and stuff there. I'm not going to say that I'm really into social media, but I've kind of put social media on the back burner for a little while as far as Instagram, stuff like that. But we're building a house right now. We're run the business. We're trying to do these men events and stuff. So in the future, we'll have some content for people to look up and hopefully be able to identify with what we've went through. As far as going from working a 9-to-5 job to just diving into a business and it being life changing for them, and then just trusting that God is going to just take control and give us everything that we need, no matter what. So,
Amen, dude. I love it. I love the story. It's very approachable, Josh. I mean, I think there's a lot of people out there stuck inside of jobs they hate. And, buying businesses is kind of hot right now. Like there's a lot of guys out there graduating from business school with an MBA and using the SBA loan to buy a business. So it's a great story. It's very approachable, but also the work ethic and the hustle to keep it going. And even it wasn't your original expertise, I think it's a really powerful story. And then the impact that Ruck has had on you is also really tangible. So
that's definitely, I'm not against education by no means, but one thing that I wish I would have done was took some kind of business classes right out of high school. Just all that. I mean, I guess self-learned a lot of it. Been able to teach myself what I need to know, but there is a lot of things out there that would be helpful if I would have went to 2-year community college just for business or something. But really, just all about diving in and being all in more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't just dive into something waist deep and expect to get your head wet. Like you got to dive in.
Yeah.
You got to take care of business is the thing about it. And it's been a blessing for us. So.
Hey man, Josh. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast. Don't hop off quite yet. I want to keep talking, but thanks so much for joining. And guys, stay tuned. We're gonna have some more, probably some more builders on from Rise Up King. So anybody involved in construction, from concrete to insulation to roofing, that's what we're gonna cover on this. And of course, guys that are doing commercial and residential. All right, man. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.